LEGO is now the largest toy company in the world, and its growth shows no signs of slowing down. But that wasn't always the case. In fact, LEGO was actually on the verge of bankruptcy and $800 million in debt back in the early 2000s, after a series of strategic mistakes blew up in the company's face. But before all of that, LEGO's story first starts with humble beginnings as a family-owned business that was struggling to make ends meet. Founded by a Danish carpenter named Ole Kirk Christensen in 1932, the company was actually born out of necessity during the Great Depression in Denmark. Ole Kirk Christensen had been making a living as a carpenter selling things like ladders and ironing boards. But as demand collapsed with the Depression, he turned to making much cheaper wooden products like toys to try and make ends meet. He eventually began to focus entirely on making toys and named his new company LEGO, which is an abbreviation and combination of two Danish words that mean play well. But even though LEGO had been founded, the first version of the iconic plastic brick we all know and love didn't arrive until much later in 1949. A few years prior, a fire burned LEGO's factory to the ground, and it was forced to rebuild a new factory from the ground up. Since it was near the end of World War II and traditional manufacturing equipment was scarce, LEGO was forced to explore plastic toys as an alternative to the traditional wooden toys it had made before. The company bought a plastic injection molding machine, and in 1949, LEGO released what they called automatic binding bricks. These bricks look similar to what would eventually become the iconic LEGO brick, but they were missing the tubes at the bottom of the brick that allowed them to lock in place with each other. But LEGO continued to develop the brick concept, and by 1958, LEGO would patent the LEGO brick we know and love today, with its locking system of studs and tubes. From there, the LEGO company grew exponentially through the years, and the company continued to be passed down and managed by the Christensen family. But things eventually began to shift for the company in the 90s. The future business prospects for LEGO were becoming more and more uncertain with the rise of digital entertainment like video games and TV. As young kids were increasingly spending more of their time on digital entertainment and less time with physical toys, LEGO was seriously worried that it was at risk of losing the interest of an entire generation of children and its core business of iconic building bricks. So the company began to heavily focus on innovation and diversifying its business as quickly as possible. LEGO began to invest heavily in creating its own digital entertainment and video games with an in-house computer game division. It also opened several new LEGOLAND theme parks all over the world, and it created many new toy product lines using new and specialized parts. The conventional business wisdom is that innovation is important for any company that wants to grow. But LEGO's massive expansion didn't really work. Most of these new ventures were very costly and had poor sales upon release. So LEGO's innovation binge cost the company lots of money and pushed it into major debt. In 2003, the company posted a massive net loss of $300 million for the year. It was clear that serious changes needed to be made if the company wanted to survive and avoid bankruptcy, and they needed to be made fast. The company hired the management consultant Jürgen V. Knudstrup, who found that LEGO needed to control its costs and focus its ambitions if it wanted to survive. The Christensen family agreed with his vision, so the family stepped down from active management in LEGO and hired Jürgen as CEO in 2004. Jürgen then immediately got to work trying to save the company. Jürgen had to act quickly to get LEGO some cash, so he began to sell off assets that the company could use to fund its operations for their strategic pivot. LEGO sold a 70% stake in its LEGOLAND theme parks to Blackstone for $460 million, and then closed the company's corporate office. Unprofitable segments of the business, like the LEGO computer games division, were also shut down. LEGO then turned its attention and focused its efforts on its core business and product, the LEGO brick itself. You see, during this time period in LEGO's history, the number of different kinds of pieces it was manufacturing had skyrocketed from around 6,000 to over 12,000 total. The company was also introducing new product lines that often were nothing like the company's classic building bricks. Themes like Snap, Primo, Scala, and Galador were virtually unrecognizable as LEGO products, and none of them sold well or were successful. But they certainly added to the company's rising manufacturing costs. This bloat in the number of different parts they were manufacturing was a huge problem, because while the company's manufacturing, storage, and logistics costs were going up, all of these specialized new pieces weren't actually creating any new sales or adding top-line revenue. This left LEGO with growing costs and quickly shrinking profit margins. Even more surprisingly though, the company didn't actually know how much its manufacturing costs were for many different parts. So LEGO had no way to accurately calculate how much profit their products were making. The most shocking example of this that the company found in its strategic review was that one LEGO set featuring a micro motor piece was actually being sold for less than what it cost to make just that one single part in the set. So the company had been selling that product for a massive loss without even realizing it. To get its costs back on track, LEGO simplified its manufacturing process and slashed the number of new pieces it was creating. Under Jurgen, the company cut the number of active kinds of LEGO pieces in half, which greatly simplified its logistics and lowered costs. The company also integrated its design process with accurate information about manufacturing costs, so that it could effectively set prices for its products. As part of the company's strategic refocus on its core brick building products, LEGO also changed its hiring practices. Before Jurgen took over, LEGO had recently been hiring top graduates from design colleges to make their products. Which sounds good in theory, but the only problem is that these hires knew very little about toy design specifically, and were not familiar with LEGO and what fans of the product actually loved about it. Because of this, many of LEGO's recent product designs had been lackluster, and didn't connect with its core audience. So as part of the strategic shift, LEGO began to tap into its own audience, and hired designers who were adult fans of LEGO and had grown up with the product, as well as hiring design graduates that actually specialized in toy design. These newly hired designers had a better understanding of what made the LEGO brick special, and how to make sets that would resonate with fans, because they were fans themselves. Another huge part of what saved LEGO and helped the company survive was its focus on strategic partnerships and forming licensing deals with brands like Star Wars. The company first partnered with the Star Wars brand in 1999 for the release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The Star Wars sets were a smash hit, as passionate Star Wars fans bought LEGO versions of some of the most iconic characters and scenes from their favorite movies. This showed LEGO that they could expand the popularity of the LEGO brand and reach new audiences and fan bases by partnering with other franchises. This was a true win-win situation for both companies. Brands like Star Wars would receive a cut of the merchandise profits from LEGO, and LEGO could tap into the popularity of recent blockbuster movie releases and all of the marketing that comes with them in order to boost their sales. To this day, Star Wars remains one of the most successful LEGO themes of all time, and it has been a mainstay in LEGO's catalog since 1999. Its success for LEGO sparked future licensing deals with franchises like Harry Potter, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, and Minecraft that have continued to propel LEGO's business higher and higher and help them reach new audiences and demographics. LEGO's comeback from near bankruptcy is a great case study on the dangers of expanding a business too quickly and losing sight of the core product and audience. Investing in tons of unprofitable innovations that were dead ends nearly bankrupted LEGO. But by recentering the company's focus on its core product, LEGO was able to avoid bankruptcy and get back to what made it a success in the first place, the LEGO brick itself. But be sure to subscribe to the channel for more business and finance content, and let me know what you think about the LEGO company story in the comments below. Thanks.